everybody. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. My name is Katie Lance. I'm the founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting and the Get Social Smart Academy. And I'm fired up. We're talking about crushing it with Canva today. We are going to have a lot of fun. I've got a lot of great content, a lot of great information for you. And it's going to be awesome. So as far as kind of the format for today, we're going to go for about an hour. I have a lot of good stuff that we're going to talk about. We're going to give you lots of tips, tools, and strategies. If you're at a place where you can take notes, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. If possible, close out your other windows and tabs and put your phone down. I know it's really easy during a webinar to multitask, but as I always say, try to give yourself the gift of your presence while you're here with us today. So welcome. And by the way, I would absolutely love to know, before we get started, I would love to know where you're tuning in from. So let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. That way I can say hi and give you a shout out. You can let us know that our sound is coming through loud and clear. And let me know if you use Canva. Are you someone who's already using Canva or not? Yes or no in the chat. By the way, the chat's private, so you can't see each other chatting, but I can see all your comments coming through. Hello, Julie, Cheryl, we've got Kirk, Yolanda, Mary, Ashley. We've got Charleston, South Carolina. Awesome. We've got Aiken in the house. Lots of folks from Hilton Head. We've got Melissa, Amy, and Pam. Courtney, awesome. Allison, Laura, Jerry, we've got Lexington in the house. Tammy's in her car. Fantastic. If you're in your car, don't take notes, just listen. All right. Hello, Tanisha. Hello, Tamara, Courtney, lots of folks. Awesome. All right. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, again, my name is Katie Lance. I'm the founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting and the Get Social Smart Academy. I'm author of the book Get Social Smart. I've been featured in the news, Huffington Post, Social Media Examiner, all kinds of great publications. And for the past 10 years, our focus has really been helping agents and brokers get smarter about social media. We really believe when it comes to social media, content, Canva, that it's not the silver bullet, it's not the end all and be all, but when done right, it can make a huge difference in your business. We also are a really big believer in teaching things that will help you save time. At the end of the day, time is our most precious asset. I feel this deeply. I am happily married. My husband and I have been married for 21 years. Paul is also my business partner. So partners in life, partners in business. We have 2 boys who keep us very busy. I'm a keynote speaker. I may have met some of you at Inman or NAR over the years. And so at the end of the day, time is our most precious asset, which is why I'm so excited to be talking to all of you about Canva today, because it's Canva, when done right, is such a huge time saver. Hello, Donique. Hello, Autumn, Eric, James, Yolanda. Good to see you guys. Yes, everything's being recorded. So if you missed something or you have to leave early, everything's being recorded, and I'm sure that'll be sent out here probably in the next few days, week, things like that. But yes, you guys will have access to the recording. Hello, Autumn. Good to see you guys. By the way, Michael's in the chat, so he is communicating with you guys about the recording and things like that. And Michael, I think you might have put your last chat just to the host, so I can see it, but you might have to change that so everyone can see what you just mentioned about the YouTube channel. One other thing I just want to mention, if you look at the bottom right hand of your screen, I'm at Katie Lance on social media. I would love if you and I are not yet connected on Instagram to give me a follow. I'm going to go ahead and drop my link in the chat here. You can click on that, give me a follow. And as we're going through our training today, if you hear a nugget, if you hear something that gets you fired up, take out your phone, take a picture. You can do a selfie if you'd like, tag me, tag SCR. And I'm going to hop on Instagram later, and I'd absolutely love to connect with you and hear your takeaways and your tips. Hello, Candace. Good to see you. Welcome. So my promise here for you today is this: you're going to discover a step-by-step strategy on how to use Canva without spending a whole lot of time on it. I've got some cool secrets for you and some surprising strategies that you need to know about as well. Now, if you have questions as we go through our training here today, feel free to put those in the chat. You can also use the Q&A box. I'm going to try to take as many questions as possible as we go. But at the end, if I missed your question or if you have any other additional questions, you can always reach out to me through social media or through my email as well. So let's get into those tips that you can implement immediately to get those actionable results. All right, well, let's start at the very beginning when it comes to Canva. And when I asked a second ago if you use Canva, I saw a ton of you saying yes, but I also saw some of you saying no or not yet. It's all good. So whether you are new to Canva or whether you've been using this for years and years, I know you're going to get a lot out of our time here together today. The first thing I want to say when it comes to Canva is there is a free and a pro account. And yes, Charles, we're going to talk about AI for sure. I see him asking that in the chat. So we've got there are a free option with Canva and a pro option. Let me just say right off the bat that there's a lot that you can do with a free account. There's thousands of fonts, free elements, images. It's a great place to start with Canva to get familiar with how things work. With the free version of Canva, you can purchase add-ons. So you can purchase additional elements, graphics, and additional things with that free account. And honestly, I had a free account for years. I will say at some point, I do think there's a lot of value in having a pro account. Now, by the way, I'm not affiliated with Canva. I don't get any kickback or I don't get a commission for promoting Canva or anything like that. I do think that there's a lot of value in having the pro account, because with a pro account, you can do a lot of things. You can control your brand a little bit easier, which we're going to talk about today. You can upload your own fonts. You can resize images. You can remove backgrounds. You have access to more of the AI tools. You have a ton of space, and there's no additional cost for add-on items, which I kind of like. I like that you can pay, I think it's about $12 a month or so, and you don't have to worry about any other additional fees. So there are, differences between the two. If you're new to Canva, start with a free account, and you can always move to pro. The other thing that I would say too is I tend to use Canva primarily on my computer, on my desktop. There is a Canva app, and the app has only gotten better and better. I really like to have the app as well, because if you're creating content on your computer and you need to get it to your phone, that is one of the easiest ways to do that. You can create something on your computer and then go over to your Canva app to download content that maybe you're putting on Instagram or any social media platform. Now, having a pro account in Canva is really beneficial. And one of the things I love about having a pro account is you can have what's called your brand hub. It used to be called a brand kit. It's now called your brand hub. And within Canva, this is a really easy thing to do. So if you have a pro account, if you're paying for Canva, I definitely encourage you to log into Canva. You don't have to do it right now, but at some point log into Canva. And what you'll see is a little button that says brand hub, and you can add some of the assets that have to do with your brand. So your brand colors, your fonts, your logos. Now, for a lot of you, you may not have your own brand. Maybe you're affiliated with, obviously all of you are with a brokerage, so you can use their logo. If you're with, Remax or Coldwell Banker or whatever the brand is that you're with, you can use their logo, their colors, their fonts. If you're not sure what those are, talk to the marketing person that you normally talk to in your office or your broker. They will have those assets. But what's nice about putting those all into Canva is when you go down the road of creating content, whether it's graphics or videos or any features, you won't be hunting and pecking for the right font. You won't be figuring out, is that the right shade of red? Is that the right shade of blue? You will have it all set to go. So that is a great thing, I think, again, and that's available for the pro account, but really important to start with that. So there's a lot that we can do with Canva. And one of the things that I love a lot about Canva are templates. There are thousands of templates right within Canva. And of course, there's real estate templates, but there's also a lot of other templates besides just searching the word real estate. What you're looking at on your screen is just a screenshot of what Canva looks like on the computer. And a simple testimonial, a simple template to search for is the word testimonial. I would imagine a lot of you have testimonials all over the interwebs, right? You might have them on different third-party platforms or portals. You might have them on Google. You might have them on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever. You can go into Canva, search the word testimonial, and on the left-hand side, you'll see a ton of testimonial templates. Now, keep in mind with any template, the key here is being able to change the colors, the fonts, and things like that. So you'll see an example in the middle here of a testimonial that's just black and white. And with a few clicks of a button, by changing the colors and the fonts, now it's more branded to me, right? My colors are red, teal, yellow. And so just being able to make a few little tweaks helps with that brand consistency. And I think that's a huge thing when it comes to Canva. One of the things I'd recommend with Canva is don't reinvent the wheel, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. So if you find a testimonial template you like, you can run with that. Use that for all of your testimonial content, right? Maybe every Tuesday is like Testimonial Tuesday, where you're going to highlight one of your past clients. One of the ways to be consistent is to use templates and then customize it to your brand. Now you can also add your logo and additional things as well. One other thing I would say with anything we're creating in Canva is remember less is more. Less is more. And if you're taking notes, write that one down. Less is more. Oftentimes we feel like we have to put a ton of information on the actual graphic, but it's important to remember when we're creating something in Canva, whether it's a graphic or video or reel or anything we're creating, remember that's generally a piece of content you're going to put online. You're going to put that on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you're at. And you're also going to have a caption, right? So if you're creating a graphic in Canva about a new listing, you don't need to have all the detail about the listing on the graphic, because realistically, I'm looking at my phone, and if I can't read the text, we just keep scrolling, right? So less is more. Obviously, every area is a little bit different. You want to double check with your broker in terms of what's required about being on your graphics in terms of, broker name or DRE number. Every area is different, so double check with that. But really, less is more. I'm a big believer in that. So we're going to get into templates in just a minute, but I also want to share a few tips for how you can really stay on brand with any of your content. So whether you're using Canva for social media graphics, videos, maybe you're even using it for print material. You can use Canva for flyers, postcards, things like that. There's really kind of 4 big ways to stay on brand with Canva. The first is in your dimensions. So if I'm creating something in Canva, you can go into Canva, click the button that says create design, and you can choose any type of size, a Facebook size, a Twitter size, whatever it might be. I typically start with the Instagram square size. Why? Because an Instagram graphic, a square graphic, looks great on just about any platform. If I'm creating a square graphic, it looks great on Instagram, but it also looks great on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on just about anywhere. So when we go into Canva, we're going to click create design. I typically start with an Instagram size post. And by the way, when I'm creating something in Canva, I tend to think about Canva almost like a sandwich, right? Think about your favorite sandwich. You've got maybe your favorite sandwich, you've got the bread, you've got the veggies, maybe you've got the condiments, you've got maybe your meats, right? And it's this layer that happens with a sandwich. The same thing happens with Canva. So we want to kind of think in layers. We've got your dimensions, and then we've got all the other pieces that go into a graphic. So we start first with the size. And when you start first with the size, you will have a nice blank template, a blank slate, or you can choose from thousands of templates that are available. If you're starting with a blank template, the second thing that you can do to really customize a graphic in Canva is to choose a background. Now you can do a background in your brand color, and if your brand color is red or blue or whatever your brand color is, or under elements inside of Canva, you can actually search for backgrounds, which is really fun. And you can also upload your own backgrounds. So if you're doing a graphic about a new listing, you can upload those photos directly into Canva, and that can be your background. Or you can search for, maybe the background of a white brick wall, or, a beautiful sunset. You can search for those all right within Canva. The other thing that's really fun about Canva are elements. And within Canva, there are lots of elements, lots of graphics, lots of icons. So if you've ever been looking for maybe a little arrow to point to a website link, or maybe you want to have a little house icon on your post, whatever it might be, lots of different elements are available within Canva. For example, if I search the word house, there are thousands of options available, and you can narrow that down into looking at graphics or photos. One of the nice things about elements is you can also search by color. So if you're looking for a graphic, and if your brand colors, let's say you want to stay in maybe a yellow and blue, or you want to stay in a black and white, you can search elements by color, which is really kind of fun. So it really kind of helps to hone down what you're looking for, right? So we're building that sandwich, right? We got the dimensions, we've got the background, we've got your elements, and then the fonts. And again, there's thousands of fonts, lots of fonts. If you have a pro account, you can actually upload your own fonts, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I really recommend for most people, pick 2 or 3 and stay consistent with those, right? Pick 2 or 3 and stay consistent. And again, if you speak to your broker or the marketing person in your office, they are going to be able to tell you, yes, here are our 2 or 3 brand fonts that you can use. And again, that's going to really give that consistency. And at the end of the day, consistency builds trust, right? Consistency builds trust. Consistency is not boring. Sometimes we think, gosh, I want to change it up a little bit. But if we can be consistent with our colors, our fonts, our logos, it really does make a huge, huge difference. All right, so here we go. So I mentioned a second ago, with a pro account, you can also upload your fonts. So if you have a pro account and you're looking for some fonts, I've got 3 free font websites that are really great. If you're taking notes, if you're taking a screenshot of anything, feel free to take a picture of this. 1001freefonts.com, dafont.com, fontspace.com. These are all great websites. So again, if you're thinking of, gosh, I want to change up my fonts, or maybe you don't want to use, especially if you've been on Canva a long time, oftentimes we see the same fonts used with other real estate folks, and maybe you want something a little bit different. You can go on any one of those websites, find a great font that you like, download it, and then go to Canva and then upload it, which is really great. I see your comment, Amy. No problem. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into some of the other additional things with Canva. So I mentioned a second ago that there are lots of background options. And of course, you can have like a plain color and things like that. But there's actually three backgrounds that I want to share that I think are really fun that you may or may not be aware of. And I've got screenshots on the screen here. So the first one is called Mockup. If you've ever wanted to create a graphic where you're showcasing your website, or you're showcasing maybe your mobile app, or you want to highlight your YouTube channel, or you want to highlight your Facebook page, maybe you want to do a graphic where you are driving people to something online, you can go into Canva, search the word mockup, and you'll see all kinds of great mockup ideas. You'll see blank laptops or blank phones. And this is an easy way to create a graphic where, maybe you want to direct people to a specific page on your website, right? Maybe you want to direct people to downloading a free home buyer checklist. So you can create that simply and easily right within Canva by searching that word mockup. The second background that's really fun is flat lay. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this look, right? It's kind of like the sort of aesthetically pleasing desk with the coffee cup and the plants or whatnot. If you like that style, and that's not everyone's style, but if you resonate with that style, that's a great background to pick, especially if you are creating content, either perhaps a motivational quote. Maybe you want to do like a motivational Monday every Monday. You can do something with that flat lay background, and then you can search actually within Canva for inspirational quotes and create some graphics with inspirational quotes. Or maybe you want to do a tip Tuesday, where every Tuesday you've got a real estate related tip. Again, you can find a flat lay background that you like. What's nice about flat lay is there is some graphics on the screen, but there's a lot of blank space for you to put context, right? There's a lot of real estate, no pun intended. And then the third background that's really fun is gradient. So gradient is kind of that, sort of beautiful, like almost watercolor look. Again, that may not be your look, but if you resonate with that, you like that, then gradient can be a great background. And again, there's lots of different color schemes that you can pick. What's really nice is once you start to find some backgrounds that you really like, you can actually add them to a folder. And one of the nice parts about Canva, especially if you've been on Canva a long time, is you can actually start to organize some of the things that you like. So if you've got backgrounds or graphics that you really like, you can add them to a folder, which makes it really easy to find later on, which is really kind of cool. Let's see here. Let me just clear that out. Okay. So there's lots of background ideas. There's also lots of elements, right? And of course, there's the elements we always think of, like house or keys, right? But there's also some other really fun elements that you may not be aware of to really enhance your graphics in Canva. And I've got my three favorite on the screen here. So arrow is one that I use a lot. This is a great one to add on a graphic. So imagine you've got a just listed or just sold, and maybe you've got a little property website on that graphic. Maybe it says just listed 123 Main Street, and you want to maybe have an arrow that's pointing to that, or you want to have an arrow that's pointing to something else. Again, it kind of draws people's attention as they're scrolling. And ultimately, one of the reasons I like Canva is when done right, Canva can help stop the scroll, right? I always think about how can we be thumb stopping in the news feed, right? Whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're spending time, we're all kind of just doing this. And when done right with Canva, when you can really make it your own, and it doesn't look like a stock photo, it doesn't look like sort of the generic thing we see from a lot of folks, when you can add your own flavor, your own personality, your own brand, it really helps you stand out in a sea of sameness. And if you've been in real estate a long time, there's kind of a sea of sameness, right, in real estate marketing. And again, I think there's a lot of great opportunities within Canva to make it your own, put your own voice out there. So arrows are great. This also works really well with any kind of videos you're doing. If you're using Canva to create reels or TikToks or any kind of video content, not only can you have static, elements that are static that don't move, but you can also add in elements that do move. So if you want to have an arrow that's kind of flying across the screen and have that sort of, movable image or movable graphic, you can do that. The second one here is called Hand Drawn Pro. Hand Drawn Pro. Again, this look isn't for everyone, but if this is a look that resonates with you, maybe your brand tends to be, a little bit more fun, a little bit more conversational, then this might be a great thing to search for when you're thinking about how do you make your content maybe a little bit more playful. There's some really fun graphics that are in there. And then the third one is watercolor. If you're someone who really resonates with the kind of that watercolor type look, you can search for watercolor within Canva, and there are some really great elements and backgrounds to really, again, kind of take your brand and your graphics to that next level. Okay, a big tip that I can give you, regardless of graphics and backgrounds and everything we're talking about, is create a repeatable routine. If you can get yourself into a repeatable routine with anything, especially with Canva, it's going to help in so many ways. And I've got a few tips on the screen here. So like I said, choose 2 to 3 fonts, keep it simple, stay consistent, less is more, as I said, and use some of the templates. Now, you also got on your screen here a screenshot of Canva, and you can see I just searched the word real estate. If anything, the next time you're in Canva, search the word real estate, search the word realtor, search the word just listed, just sold. There are, again, a plethora of templates. And I have to be honest with you, when I'm searching real estate templates, the ones that I am gravitating to and the ones that I recommend that you use are the ones that are simple. When you go into Canva, you'll see some graphics that some of them are great and some of them have just a lot going on. I honestly think less is more, especially if you're using Canva to highlight a listing or an open house. You want the house to shine, right? You want the home or whatever part of the home you're highlighting, you want that to shine. So less is more. And one of the things you'll see on your screen is this idea of batch creating content. If you're not familiar with this idea, this is something we teach a lot inside of our Get Social Smart Academy. And if you follow me on social media, you've probably heard me talking about batching content. Batching content is this idea of not just creating one graphic or one video, but it's taking a little bit of time and creating a lot of content all in one batch, right? I often say, especially with video, right? If you're creating video content, I've said this for years. I always feel like if I'm going to do my hair and makeup and record one video, you better believe I'm going to record like 4 or 5, right? And so it's the same thing in Canva. When you get into a routine with Canva where you've got your brand assets there, you've got your colors, your fonts, you're not trying to, reinvent the wheel. You found a few templates that you like. Now you can go in and batch create a lot of content all in one batch, right? I talked about earlier as an example, searching testimonials, right? You could go into Canva, set aside an hour, search for a testimonial template, go to your other websites where you've got 5 or 10 testimonials, grab those testimonials, put them into a Canva graphic, customize it a little bit to make it look like your own. And now within about an hour, you've got, 5 or 10 great graphics that you can then post maybe once a week for the next 5 to 10 weeks, right? So it goes back to what I said in the very beginning. It's about working smarter, not harder, right? Which is really important. So I want to kind of get into this whole idea of customizing templates. And I'm using an example on the screen of a still graphic, right? A graphic that's just, a graphic for Instagram or Facebook. But this also applies to video content, right? There are so many great video templates inside of Canva. And one of the things I wanted to share in the chat is we just published a video just yesterday on Canva and video. And so if you have wondered specifically how to really use Canva effectively with video editing, creating long form video for YouTube or short form video for Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to drop that link in the chat here just so you guys have that link. We will probably email that out to you guys also, but just as, like if you're watching this on the recording, you can always go to my YouTube channel to find it. It's just Katie Lance on YouTube, but I'm going to drop this in the chat here. So if you're at a place where you can click on that, you don't have to watch it right now. It's like a 10-minute video. So don't watch it right now, but just click on it, save it, watch it later, because there's a lot you can do with Canva for video. Okay. So customizing templates, what you're seeing on the screen, on the left-hand side of your screen, we see a just listed graphic, right? So it says just listed. Again, I particularly like this particular template because it's really simple. One great picture. We've got the text that says just listed. And then at the bottom is some kind of generic stuff that was part of the template. So I took that template and you can see I customized it based on my brand. I took out that picture of the house. I added a picture. I changed the just listed to be my fonts, my colors, and then I added my handle, my @KatieLance at the bottom, and contact us for more details. So I'm not necessarily changing anything. I'm just editing a little bit, right? Like you're keeping the bones of the template the same. You're just changing the colors and the fonts. And you can see just from making a few changes, how different it looks, right? Now, the cool thing about this is within Canva, you can batch create multiple graphics all in one batch, right? I talked about this just a second ago, this idea of like, if you're going to create one graphic or one video, you might as well create a few. And I was chatting with someone in our academy about this recently, and she really had an epiphany. She said, Katie, every time I take a new listing, there is a cycle that happens with that listing, right? There's coming soon, there's just listed, there's under contract, there's just sold, there's the open house. And so she said to me, she's like, I thought to myself, why am I getting into Canva to create a new graphic every time one of these things comes up? Why don't I, at the beginning of a transaction, all in one batch, create the just listed, open house, under contract, just sold, right? And so you can do that quickly and easily right within Canva. You can create one that says just listed and then duplicate it and change it to open house and then duplicate it again to just sold or under contract, which is great. Hey, Maria, yes, this is being recorded, and SCR will send that out to you guys probably the next few days or a week or so. But yeah, they will get that out to you. And I believe it'll also be on their YouTube channel. So yes, good question. There is a lot on this webinar for sure. This is one of those webinars you probably want to watch back at some point and hit pause. And I find with a lot of webinars, especially with Canva, if you're watching this back, it's great to be able to watch it back, hit pause, and then go to Canva and do some of the things I'm talking about, right, at the same time. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, guys. So in addition to real estate templates, like I said, there's tons of real estate, just listed, just sold. There's so many other great templates that you can modify to create great graphics and videos. So I want to share 3 of my favorites. So when you're in Canva, again, there's lots of great templates that you can search for. I love searching for the word search. Okay, so you're going to go into Canva. Again, I like to start with kind of that square Instagram size. And on the left-hand side of Canva, there's like this whole little control panel with your templates and your fonts and your colors and everything. Under templates, you can search. So if you search the word search, you'll see a lot of great templates that look like kind of a search bar. So this is a really fun type of graphic you could create where you're creating a graphic with a commonly asked question in the middle. Right. So I created one that says how to buy a home in 2023 when you have to sell first. Now, I don't know about your market. I'm out in California, and I have to tell you that this is a question that gets asked all the time by folks in our market. And honestly, I do webinars all over the country, and I would imagine this is probably a common question just about anywhere, right? There are a ton of folks who want to buy something, but they've got to sell their house first. How do we do this, right? So I would encourage you to start to brainstorm a list of commonly asked questions, right? If you can start to think about who you've worked with this year. We're halfway through the year, which is crazy, right? We're in the middle of June. You might consider taking out a piece of paper. You don't have to do this right now, but at some point, take out a piece of paper, write down every client you have worked with this year, or as many as you can. And as you write their names down, next to their name, write down some of the questions they had or the pain points that they had. Right? Maybe they were in the military, maybe they were renters, maybe they were first-time home buyers, maybe they were second-time home buyers, they were looking for a vacation home, they were investors, right? If you think about all the questions you get asked, that's a great list, right? So if you come up with, let's say, 10 things that are commonly asked, right? Like especially those things where you get asked and you think, if I could ask this one more time, that's a great piece of content. So now you've got your list, you can go into Canva, search the word search, and put in that little search bar what that question is, right? You can, of course, customize this a little bit, add your logo, change your fonts, whatever, but you can do this pretty quickly and easily. And now, again, imagine having 10 kind of pain points or 10 questions that you get asked. You can easily, probably within about an hour or so, create 10 graphics. Now you've got those graphics, you can upload them each week. Maybe every Monday you want to share a tip, or Tuesday, or whatever day of the week it is, you upload that to Facebook, Instagram, or wherever. And the answer to that question is in the caption, right? So you've got your graphic and the answer is in the caption, right? And again, this is a really great way to be able to put out helpful content, right? When we think about content, the best type of content is content that's helpful, that's informative. And by the way, that list of ideas, not only could this be turned into a graphic for Canva, but that could also be a quick 30-second video that you create for an Instagram reel, or a Facebook reel, or a TikTok. So now you've got a list of 10 topics, and you've got 2 ways to turn those topics into ideas. It could be a graphic, and it could also be a video, right? So outside of Canva, I'm just a huge believer in repurposing content and thinking about how can you take one idea and kind of put it in a few different places, if that makes sense. Okay, so search, that's one of my favorite templates. The second template that's really fun to search for is something called toggle post. So toggle post is just what it looks like right here, right? You guys have seen sort of the little on off buttons, the little like Wi-Fi on, Wi-Fi off, right? On off buttons. And if you search for toggle post, you'll see a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily real estate related, but sometimes I love seeing stuff like that. I often get inspiration for real estate outside the real estate industry, right? So for example, I searched toggle post, I found a little template about creating content, and I took that and I changed it to be open houses this weekend. And I really love this graphic for, especially if you have multiple open houses over the weekend, or maybe you have 3 new listings on the market and you want to kind of get creative in terms of just putting them all into one graphic. So, really simply, I took that same graphic, just kind of changed the background, changed the fonts, changed the colors a little bit. And again, that's a great graphic for Instagram, Facebook, and whatever you'd like. Now, by the way, if you have a pro account, Canva does have a scheduling tool. You can use Canva's scheduling tool to schedule content to social media. I don't tend to use Canva's scheduling tool. I tend to use like Facebook Business Suite, or there's other tools that you can use for scheduling. But you can certainly do that if you have a pro account with that within Canva. The other phrase that's really great for templates, there's one called letterboard. Letterboard. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen these, right? There's been this trend for probably the last 10 years of like these cute little letterboards that you can buy like at Target or at Walmart, and you add the little letters, and you always see, kids holding up their little boards like the first day of school, right? Well, good news, you don't actually have to buy one of those. You can actually go into Canva and just search the word letterboard, and there are just lots of templates that look like a little letterboard. So I did that recently. I went into Canva, searched the word letterboard, and you can see right here on the left-hand side, there's all kinds of great little inspirational quotes, which is great, different holiday ones. I just went in, picked one, and then I did one related to real estate. So I just edited it and put house plus love equals home, right? House plus love equals home. So again, I think the bigger picture here with Canva is, again, thinking about different types of content. And when we think about different types of content, for a lot of you, some of your content is going to be just listed, just sold, open houses, testimonials, which is great. But that can't be all your content, right? Because that type of content is promotional, and promotional is certainly fine. But we also want to have a balance between things that are inspiring, things that make us feel something, maybe something that's funny, and also some things that are helpful or informative. So it doesn't mean we have to post 7 days out of the week, but if you're thinking, okay, maybe you want to, if you're thinking you want to post 2 or 3 times a week, having a good balance between something that's real estate related, something that's helpful or informative or about the market, having something that's maybe inspirational or something related to maybe you and your personal interests, right? And then maybe that third post is something promotional, right? So again, kind of having that balance of content, which is key. So of course you can create video. You can create a ton of video content within Canva. And like I said earlier, I put that link in the chat there. Definitely want to encourage you to check that out, because there are a lot of things that you can do with Reels, with TikTok, and also with longer form content. So if you go into Canva and under templates, you search real estate Reels, or just listed, just sold Reels. There's obviously tons of templates available within Canva. You will see lots of great templates. What I really like about Canva templates for Reels, well, there's a few things. First of all, if you are creating any type of Reels, you probably know that some of the best type of Reels and TikToks are when you're on camera, when we see your face, right? Because look, there might be 1,000 videos about how to move to South Carolina, but nobody's going to say it the way you're going to say it. Nobody's going to sound like you. No one's going to have your voice inflection, your experience, your expertise. But I also know the reality is, when it comes to getting on camera, if I can be totally candid, a lot of us don't like how we look. We don't like how we sound. We don't know how to do it, so that we don't do it, right? And I had a good friend of mine a few years ago very lovingly remind me, she was like, Katie, that's how you look and that's how you sound. So you got to get over it. So I will lovingly tell you the same thing. However, that being said, there's also some opportunities to create video where you're not always on camera. And that's where I think the Canva templates can really help in a big, big way. So maybe once a week you want to show up on camera and you want to do a reel where you're teaching something or you're highlighting something or you're taking people behind the scenes. But if you also want to create content where you're highlighting a listing, you're highlighting an open house, you're highlighting past clients, you're highlighting maybe some pictures of your local area, going into TikTok, finding a great template, adding some of those can be a really easy way, again, to batch create a lot of content quickly and easily. Now, one tip I would give you with any kind of video that you're creating in Canva is you can add music within Canva. I really recommend that you don't. So if you're creating any kind of video content, I recommend that you do the editing, you do anything that you want to do with Canva, download it. And then when you go to Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, add the music there, right? Add the music there, because if you add it in Canva and then you upload it over to Instagram, there is the possibility that your video gets flagged for a copyright violation. So I tend to pick the music right within whatever platform I'm uploading. If you're uploading it to TikTok, pick a music or an audio sound right within TikTok. It's just a small thing that definitely makes a big, big difference. So a lot of you also asked about AI, and there's a lot happening with AI for sure. I also did a video on my YouTube channel. Again, if you just go to YouTube, search Katie Lance, you'll see I've done a bunch of videos, especially recently, about Canva and AI. And we were just chatting before we went live on this webinar, how much AI has really started to infuse so much of our life. And it's pretty incredible, right? We have ChatGPT, there's tons of AI tools. We see AI being integrated into so many real estate platforms. And within Canva, there are some really cool AI features. So what I want to do for just a second is I'm actually going to go and open up Canva, and I want to show you some of the things live of what that looks like. Before I do that, I would love to just get a sense really quick. For those of you watching live, has this been helpful so far? Let me know in the chat. Give me a yes or no if you've enjoyed this so far, if you've gotten a takeaway, a tip, a nugget, if you've been inspired so far. Don't worry, we're not done yet. We've got like another 20 minutes, but I just want to do a little mid check-in. I saw a yes, but my head is spinning. It's all good. Okay, good. Good. Lots of yeses. Awesome. Thank you guys. Trying to play with Canva at the same time is what I saw. Again, the chat's private, so I can't, you can't see each other chatting, but I can see all your comments. Awesome, cool, thank you guys. Now, by the way, if you have questions, again, feel free to put those in the Q&A as we're going through everything today. Thanks, Tanisha. Awesome. All right, so what I'd like to do is go ahead, like I said, and open up Canva and kind of go live on a few things here. Let's see here. Lonnie says, I love the ideas. I need a little bit more information about how to batch. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can show you a few things here. So let's see. I'm going to pull up my computer here. Let's pull up this, and we don't need my Zoom screen. Let's go over to Canva. Okay, so let me close out a couple little boxes so I can show you exactly a few things here. So I'm on the screen here of Canva, and like I said earlier, I have a pro account. I don't think you have to have a pro account, but I do think having a pro account definitely helps here. I'm just looking at the chat. Says Kirk says, great so far. I have 5 in-person closing video testimonials that I need to do. Canva testimonials. Oh, awesome. Maria says, I'm learning so many great tips. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I want to kind of show a few things. I'm in Canva right here. Let me see if I can increase the size of my screen just a little bit so we can see this a little bit better. I'm going to go in the upper right-hand corner and click Create Design. And like I said, I typically like to start with an Instagram post, a square post, if I'm creating kind of a static graphic, unless I'm creating a video. So I'm going to click there as well. Andrea, yes, the replay will be available. Yeah, good question. Okay, so I've got a nice blank Instagram square template, and I could start from scratch right here. I could click on here and I could start to add, right? Remember we talked about kind of the sandwich. We could start from scratch and we could add backgrounds. We could search some different templates. When I'm on here, by the way, this little blank square, I can click up to this color, this little background color, and I can choose any background colors. Now you'll notice on the left-hand side, it says Katie Lance Consulting Brand. When you put your brand in the brand hub, if you have a pro account, this is one of the nice things. You'll always have your brand colors right here. So if I wanted to add my brand colors right there, I could do that kind of quickly and easily. If I go back over to design, again, these are all a lot of different templates. Again, I could search. I talked about, searching the word search, right? So here's where those would be right here. And I'm just going to give a quick example. I'm going to click on one here. And you can see this is just kind of the template. And obviously right here in the middle is where you would edit it, right? This is where you would add in, if you are making a list of, questions that come up all the time and you're batch creating content, you've got it right here. So somebody asked about batching. Let me just share with you really quick. If you like this template, you can keep it as is. I would definitely take out this bottom part that says reallyGreatSite.com. I would put my website. So I'm going to do that. And let's see if I can type this out here, KatieLance.com. And of course, you can do some other things if you want to change the colors and everything, but let's just kind of keep it simple. And if you are batching content, what's really cool is when you're in Canva, there's a little button right up here in the top right-hand corner. It says duplicate page, right? I'm hovering my mouse over it right here. So if I hit duplicate page, now I've got page 2, and now I'm duplicating it. And I'm actually going to show you what this looks like along the bottom. So I can actually have this along the bottom. I could even click these 3 little dots and duplicate it. And so what's nice about this is you can duplicate this, let's say you're going to duplicate it 10 times out. Now you've got the exact graphic you want, and all you need to do is change the middle of each piece, right? So really easy to, again, sort of batch create a lot of content. And then you can go up to share on the upper right-hand corner, go down to download, and it's going to download those all to your computer. So now you've got 10 graphics that you can, schedule out. If you're using a tool like Facebook Business Suite or other tools, you can do that kind of quickly and easily, which is really kind of cool. One other thing I just want to point out, actually, there's 2 things I want to point out on here. On the upper right-hand corner, you'll see it says life is too short to wait. When you're creating anything in Canva, you want to make sure you're naming it properly, right? When you name something properly, that way you can find it later on. So you're not reinventing the wheel. So, maybe this is a search graphic with real estate tips, right? 2023. You want to name it something simple that you will be able to search for later, right? If it's a property website, or if it's a property, you would probably name it 123 Main Street. As you're creating in Canva, by the way, it's automatically saving. So if you are someone who, over the years has been like, oh my gosh, do I have to save as I go? It automatically saves as you go, which is great. Now, one other thing that's really kind of cool too, is you can take any static graphic and you can animate it. So if I've got the static graphic right here, I can go in the upper left-hand corner and hit animate, and it'll give me a lot of different options in terms of animation. I can create a simple animation. I could click sleek. I could create fun, right? Whatever I'd like, maybe have it kind of swoop in, whatever I'd like. And you can animate it. So it's really fun. You can take a, still graphic and animate it just really quickly and easily, which is really fun. Just looking at the chat here. Let's see here. Aisha says, can you have more than one brand saved in Canva? Yeah, you absolutely can. So if you have a couple different brand palettes, or maybe you've got your real estate brand and something else that you're doing, you can absolutely do that. Yeah. Diane says, when you use the search template, is that static? It shows the mic and the search icon. Are they interactive? I don't think that part is. I would say you just need to kind of play around with all the different animations. You can see if I click on some of the different animations that some of them are moving. They aren't really moving up and down the screen, but they're kind of like flying in. So they're kind of animated, if that makes sense. Yeah, good question. Let's see here. Lisa says, my question is how to send multiple pages to the printer without downloading each individual page to the printer. It saves with separate pages. Yeah, so if you're downloading anything, whether it's a graphic or something that you're printing, maybe it's a flyer, you're just going to go over to share. And when you hit download, you can either download all the pages right here, or you can go here and select which page, if you just want page 9, or if you just want page 1, whatever it might be. So yeah, you would just go to share and hit download, and right now it's downloading it as a video, but you would hit share, you would hit download, and then you would pick which pages you want. So yeah, good question. So I want to go back over to home really quick and show a couple of the AI things as well, because I know that there were some questions about AI, and I want to share a couple of my favorite tools as well. Let's see here. Wanda says, can you create forms? Can you create a transaction checklist? Yeah, you absolutely can, for sure. So Wanda, what you could do is you could go into Canva, and under templates, I would probably search just checklist is what I would do. So if I searched checklist, there's going to be a ton of different templates. They're not always necessarily real estate related, but you could use any of these and turn them into a transaction checklist, right? You know, for example, it could be like this one right here. This is one that has to do with cleaning, but you could, if you like the design, you could click on any of those and turn that into something real estate related. Can I add a text box at the bottom of the square box? Yeah, you can always add text boxes. Yeah, for sure. You can always add anything. You know, if I go back to my home right here and I click on my most recent design, this is the one I was doing just a second ago. I can, if I wanted to add something else on the screen, on the left-hand side, there's a button that says text. And so if I wanted to add some additional text, maybe I wanted to add, let me just close out of this really quick. Maybe I wanted to add like a little bit of text. Let's move this up here. Maybe I want to say Tip Tuesday, just as an example, right? If you want to add text in a template, you can certainly do that. So you're just adding that little text button, and I'm just going to move that around a little bit. And then at the very top, you can see that I can change the fonts and change the size. So if I wanted that bigger, if I wanted to change the color, I'm going to click the color. And one other thing that's really kind of cool is with any fonts, if I click on this font right here, I can click effects right above it. If you look at that button, effects, and there's a lot of effects that I can put with my text. So if I wanted to kind of make it lift just a little bit, I could do that. Kind of makes it pop, which is fun. Or if I wanted to outline it or, you know, kind of make it stand out, which is kind of fun. So yeah, good question. Let's see here. Tammy says, if you create a post template in the free version, can you share with others who also have the free version? Yeah, you can do that. If you want to share anything, you just go up to share, and you're going to want to copy link, and you're going to want to add in who you want to view it. So you just need to add in their email. Do I have any favorite fonts? Yeah, I mean, there's so many fonts available. Yeah, I mean, I tend to use this one. I use a lot. It's called Montserrat Extra Bold. I really like that as kind of a bold font. That's a favorite one. One thing that you can do is also search for fonts. So if you're searching for a handwriting font or a calligraphy font or something, there's lots of great ones. This one, Brittany, is a really nice handwriting font. I don't really like that in all caps. I think that Tip Tuesday looks weird in all caps, but if I wanted to do it in more, you know, if you wanted to kind of a nice cursive, that looks nice. I like that one too. And I do have on my YouTube channel a video about Canva fonts. If you go to, I'll just pull up my channel really quick, and I can put this in the chat for you guys. But if you go to my channel under videos, you can see I've done a bunch of videos recently about Canva, and you can actually just search. Let me just show you really quick. If you search, if I search the word fonts on my YouTube channel, I have a whole video about the best Canva fonts. So let me see if I can just grab that for you guys really quick and share that link. Don't mind the ad. Canva fonts video. All right, let me drop that in the search for you guys there. And it's fun to watch a master at work, says Linda. Ah, thanks. I appreciate it. Let me drop a link to my YouTube channel in here too, just so you guys can check that out. Liliana says, how do you change the color of the background of a picture? So if you have this picture, here's a picture of the beach, you can click edit photo, and then you can do some edits to it. And this is actually where some of the AI stuff comes into play. So there's some different filters, which is fun. There's also some additional things like magic eraser, magic edit that you can do as well. For example, if I click on magic edit, you can actually kind of edit certain pieces. Like if I didn't want this like rock in the middle of my picture, I could actually just kind of click over it like this. This is part of the AI part of it, which is kind of crazy. So let's do that. Let's say we want to remove that. And if I hit continue, and now it'll say, what do you want to generate? So if you want something else there, maybe you want, I don't know what I would want in the middle of the ocean. Maybe you want a dolphin. As an example, let's see what happens with AI. And it'll take a second, and let's see, I don't know, you know, who knows? This is the beauty of doing a live webinar. We don't know what's going to happen, right? It's very exciting. Thank you guys for all the comments. I appreciate it. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's a interesting dolphin. I don't know if that. So this may not have been the best example, but with any graphic, you could click on an image and use some of the AI tools, which is kind of fun. I find that this typically is best for like if you've got a picture of a home, and maybe I find that a lot of agents use this. Like, let's say you take listing photos and you don't realize that there is something on the counter that you don't want. You know, someone left a backpack in the corner of the room, or there's some picture on the wall of their family that they don't really want on their listing photos. You can use Magic Edit to take out some of those pictures and things like that. Poor little dolphin, I know, right? What did that dolphin do for us? Let me just go back over here to the main screen of Canva really quick. And I'm going to go back to just create a design. I want to share a couple things here really quick with the AI part of things, right? So I've got a blank template, and I'm actually going to go over to my uploads here, and I am going to scroll down, and I'm going to just grab a picture that I can use. So let's drag over this picture really quick. And if I'm just moving a little chat here. So I've got this picture. This is just kind of a stock photo that I pulled. If you click on this little star button on the lower right-hand side, it says Canva Assistant. And there are some really cool things that you can do. So there is Magic Write, which is a new feature within Canva. If I click Magic Write, I can actually ask for some help with what I want to write. This is, you know, again, sort of one of the AI tools. So if I want to say it says use 5 or more words to describe what you want to write, you could say something along the lines of, you know, write a creative description for a new home on the market I'll just put Charleston, South Carolina. Now I probably would put more details, right? Obviously, I'd probably put more details about what's included in the home, et cetera, et cetera. But really quickly, it created something kind of quickly and easily. Now there's a ton of text that's on here, which is a little tough to read. So I probably would maybe copy and paste this somewhere else to actually read what it said. But this is actually some great text that I could copy and paste and maybe use as a description when I'm writing the post. Now, as with any AI, you want to double check, you want to read, you want to make sure that you're, you know, adhering to fair housing and things like that. But here's a great example where you could, copy this and put this somewhere else, right? Again, maybe in the caption, maybe you put this as a second part of a graphic. You know, maybe this first graphic is more of like a just listed, and then over here, you might add some text over here. Now, again, I can't really read this text. So one of the things you can do is you can make this transparent. I can make the background transparent, which is really kind of cool. And I could take out this right here and I could have a nice little description. Now, this is a lot of text for a graphic, right? So I probably would, again, read it carefully, rewrite it. Maybe we would delete some of this just to make it a little bit easier, like that. And again, I just went over to this little star button here that says Canva Assistant, and we did what's called Magic Write. And again, I would increase this. Let's increase this to like 45, like that, right? So again, I'd play around with it a little bit more. Let's move that up. Let's make this a little bit smaller, right? Let's click on that. And again, you can change the fonts up a little bit, right? If you want it just a little bit like that. So now we've got, and again, I would delete all that text right there. So now we've got a nice graphic and maybe some text. I don't necessarily know if I would have both of these on a graphic. I probably would take this text and use this more as a caption, but you could certainly have this as kind of a multi-graphic post. Again, I'd probably just add a simple just listed across here. And this is one of the nice things I think about Canva. You don't, again, always have to use a template. If you just want to use a great picture of the house, and then you just want to add some text, you know, I could just put just listed like that, and right, kind of make that big, and that kind of looks great just there. I don't even have a template, right? I've just basically just added some text, and there you go. And then I'm going to click effects, and I'm going to kind of lift this a little bit, make this pop a little bit more. By the way, I can see we have about 5 minutes left. I am probably going to go over by just a couple minutes because I'm going to go back to my slides in a second. I've got some additional tools I want to share with you. So if you can hang with me a few minutes past the hour, I've got probably 10 more minutes to go. So, and then of course I would probably add like my logo on here, things like that. All right. I can see a few people chatting. Let's see here. Lisa says, any way to pull a graphic you designed off Canva and use it for a background in a video? Yeah, you could absolutely do that. I would, if you create a graphic that you want to use in a video, you can either just copy and paste it or you can download it and then re-upload it. Yeah, for sure. Lonnie says, do you have any idea how to structure and organize my templates? You can save any of your templates into folders. And that way you've got, maybe you have a folder of your favorite templates. That's what I would do. Yes, Carol, this is recorded. Let me just share a couple other really fast things. I want to also click on Canva Assistant right here. There's other things like text boxes, all kinds of cool stuff that you could do. I do want to click on the photo itself and click edit photo, because there's a couple things that are also really kind of cool AI related that you can do. If I click magic eraser, this is actually kind of a cool thing. So let's say, again, maybe you've got a picture and there's something that you don't really want, right? Maybe you don't want these little deer on the wall. I can scroll over, kind of swipe over these little deer right here. And through the magic of AI, it should delete it. Look at that. That is pretty cool. So that's called Magic Edit. And I would recommend that you're only taking things out that are cosmetic, right? Like we don't want to use this to like erase power lines or to totally change how a house looks, but you know, there you go. Now I might even take out that little, there's a little antler right there. So that is one of the AI tools that I think is really cool. There's actually a lot of stuff, a lot of AI tools with Canva, but I will say, just like anything, I don't think you need to know every single AI tool with Canva. I think you need to know kind of the most important things that are actually going to kind of move the needle forward. So I think the magic eraser button is great. There's also magic edit. And one other thing that you can do also, let me go over to uploads. One of the other cool things is just a picture of me, is you can use the background remover tool. So if I click edit photo, this is also a great tool. This is only available for the pro account, but this is really nice if you've got a picture of yourself, you know, maybe in front of something and you want to kind of remove the background and use it for a graphic. So now you can do something like that, which is really kind of cool. Let's see here. Maria says, are all these features available with the free account? Do we have to upgrade? A lot of them are available with free, not all of them, but a lot of them are. Yeah, good question. Is Magic Edit available in the free version? There is a part of it that's available. There's a basic version of it, and then there's a version that is a little bit more robust for the pro version. Okay, let me go back to my slides here really quick. Gosh, I know we could probably spend another like hour going through all this, but I wanted to just share with you live some stuff, because I can share with you screenshots all day long, but I think there's something really powerful about actually being able to get in there and show some of the different things. So I've got a couple slides left, and then we're going to wrap it up. My recap here, 5 things that I'd recommend in terms of next steps. I would say get started by either choosing the free or pro version of Canva. Create that brand kit within Canva Pro to save you some time. When designing, stay on brand, keep it simple, create a repeatable routine, consider batching some of your content, and search templates. Use some of those templates to create content more effectively, more efficiently. One thing that I always say at the end of my webinars is done is better than perfect. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I would imagine that there's a fair amount of you who are listening to this going, this all sounds great, but I'm really busy. And so I'm going to start to work on this next week or next month. And then guess what? It doesn't happen. So my recommendation is take one thing that you learned today and implement it immediately. And if you're sharing anything to social media, take a picture of this and share it wherever you're posting on social media, and feel free to tag me, but done is better than perfect. The last thing I want to share really quick, if this was helpful for you and you like my style and you're thinking, okay, I need some additional help with some of this, I do have a free Canva checklist for real estate. This is a multi-page PDF. It's a great companion to everything I talked about today. So if this was helpful, I have a big QR code, which by the way, I created in Canva. You can create QR codes in Canva, which is amazing, super easy to do. So if you're at a place where you can scan this, do that. Or if you can't scan it, maybe you're on your phone right now, the link is right here at the bottom of the screen. It's just katielance.com /Canva. So katielance.com /Canva, go there, it'll ask for your name and email, and then we'll send this to you. Like I said, it's a multi-page PDF. That's just a really great companion to everything we're talking about here today. Okay, I know we are at the top of the hour and I want to be respectful of time. I'm going to stay on for just another minute and answer any other additional questions. So if you have questions, feel free to put those in the chat. I'm also going to type my email in the chat. So if you have a question and maybe you don't want to ask it in front of, 200 people, you can email me directly. I'm Katie@katielance.com. I just put it in the chat. I answer all my own email. I'm happy to answer questions. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Vicky says I have to hop off. Yeah, no worries. Yes, this is being recorded. Creating QR codes, please. Yeah, so the way to create a QR code within Canva, it's actually really easy. I can share with you super fast. I'm going to go back into Canva really quick. Let me just pull this up really fast and I can show you super quick because I'd imagine this is something a lot of you would do. On the left-hand side under apps, so if you look at the left-hand side, you can see like design, elements, brand hub. If I scroll down, there's a button that says apps. This is where there's a lot of the AI tools right here. There's lots of different things that you can do. And one of them, if I scroll down, it has to do with QR codes. So if I scroll down, I'm going to click QR code right here. You enter the URL right here, whatever you want the URL to be. So if I wanted it to be 123mainstreet.com, or, again, like I'll just put in my website, katielance.com. Let me close out a couple tabs here really quick. If I want to just put in my website, whatever you'd like, this is great. Specifically, I think this is great for like lead generation or, any kind of, property websites, things like that. So let's see here. Let me click that. I don't know if this will do this live. Customize. Oh, so we can also customize the colors, which is kind of cool. So if I want to customize it into, any of your brand colors, which is really kind of fun, you can do that. Let's just say we want to make it this color, right? So we'll hit update code, and this is going to do this actually live because I've got a bunch of windows open. There we go. Okay, so we've got it right here, and then we can just kind of move it around, and you can copy and paste this if you want to put it on a certain graphic that you want. Again, I could maybe change this to, a different color, whatever I'd like. So yeah, and then you can just download it. But very cool. So again, you're just going to go under apps to do that. Okay, let me just grab a couple of those links really quick so you guys have those links also. And let me go back to my slides. I saw a couple of you ask for that link for the checklist. Karen says this was a great presentation. Thank you. My pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure. All right, so I'm going to drop in the chat this checklist so you guys have that. I'm also going to put my Instagram handle in the chat as well. Thank you so much to SCR for inviting me here today. This was so much fun. I know we probably could have gone another hour and a half talking all about Canva, but I would love your feedback. Did you enjoy today? Was this helpful? Did you learn something? Let me know in the chat, yes or no, if this was helpful, and would absolutely love to connect with you. So the best thing you can do, feel free to reach out to me, give me a follow over on Instagram, send me a message, say, hey, I was on that webinar today. Would love to connect with you. If you're looking for any other additional resources, again, feel free to head on over to my YouTube channel. We've got lots of great free resources over there, and download the Canva checklist. If you enjoyed this today and you're the kind of person that needs kind of like the step-by-step of where things are and kind of that step-by-step checklist, you'll find that in that free Canva checklist. So I sure appreciate your time. As I said at the top of the hour, I really think time is our most precious asset. So I appreciate so much the time that you've given us today as well. Penny says, excited about being able to create a QR code. Thank you. Awesome. Yay. Yes. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Laura, Jennifer, Tammy, Keisha, Janine. Allison says, very, very helpful. Appreciate your info so much. Can't wait to visit your YouTube channel. Oh, good. Good. Thank you. Yes. Specifically, if you're looking for training on Canva and ChatGPT, we've done a bunch of that recently, but we also have other training on, Instagram, Facebook, all kinds of good stuff. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Diane. She says, I'm new to Canva, so this is great. Good. Lisa says, this was fantastic. Thanks so much. Thank you to SCR. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. All right, my friends, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. Remember, done is better than perfect. Sending you high fives, virtual hugs. We'll see you soon, and have a great day. All right. Can't wait to see what you create. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye for now.